So Michelle, uh, it's the time of giving thanks. Well, that was a couple of days ago, but
Yeah.
it is a time of giving thanks. And I am thankful that I finally got my shed like 20 minutes ago.
Yay, it's done.
We've been postponing recording for days. Well, because Thanksgiving is a busy time, and you had to work on a normal recording day
Hmm.
because you're a mensch and you wanted to work when it was busy to help your coworkers. That's if that's not what happened, then you tell me what happened.
No, I mean that's what happened, but who knows? Who knows if it helped anybody? It didn't help anybody. Nobody cares. It's fine.
Haven't you ever heard the phrase, it's the thought that counts?
Yeah. Didn't
I have not. I just made
didn't
it
I
up.
just say that to you like
No, I
an
don't.
hour
Oh, so
ago?
now you want to start airing some dirty laundry. Okay, fine. You know what? We'll talk about my shed in a minute. I tried to do something nice. And you know the saying, no good deed goes unpunished, is completely accurate. A few weeks ago, I'm talking on the phone with Michelle, and Michelle, you have had the worst luck with kosher ramen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Oh, now let's slow down everything for a second because I want the audience to be able to keep up because we're about
Okay.
to talk about kosher ramen. I feel like we're coming out pretty strong right out of the gate. They're not getting a chance to, they're not getting a chance to get their bearings, but no. So you have been buying kosher ramen. What led to that?
So there's just a brand, there's just in the coaster section at the supermarket places, there's just a brand called something tradition, maybe. And it's like comes in, it's like the cup of noodle kinds, and it comes in a cup like that, and they're kosher, so they have ones that that's kind of weird. They're all like imitation chicken flavor, which I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I
Because
get them.
you don't eat chicken, you don't eat meat.
No, no. Um, and also that probably means that they're not made with chicken broth. So
Mm-hmm.
which is a benefit because I'm sure all the other ramen is, which is I mean it's just what it is. Um, so I buy it because I can't buy the kind that I normally like because there's no shrimp ramen like cup ramen in stores anywhere anymore, probably because of the pandemic. But who
And you would
knows?
know because you work in grocery stores.
Yeah, and I
So
go to all of them and I look every day and they're not there. And I and at the beginning of the pandemic, all there was shrimp, like everything else was sold out. So I
yeah.
would just buy it and then one day I bought all of them eventually, I bought the last one and then it just never came back.
Well, and a side note about ramen, because we had a huge shortage of ramen here as well. And funny thing though, it proved my theory that somewhere along the supply chain, they must have had like 4 years worth of ramen backed up because when we started getting the ramen back,
Mhm.
we no longer had Oriental flavored ramen anymore. It's now called soy sauce flavored ramen.
Mhm. Right, right.
But it's funny because I looked at it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense because Oriental's not really like the most politically correct term for the
Mhm.
flavoring, and also, but not even about political correctness, but also like a lot of people may be like, what's Oriental mean? So putting soy sauce flavored on it is a very accurate descriptor. It's a
Mhm.
little bit soy saucy, but that made me realize I was like, does that mean we've been going through the back order of ramen for like somebody finally ran out of the old shit and now we're
Yeah.
getting the soy sauce flavored ramen.
Yeah.
But that was the first ramen that was available. Oh, that and beef, because I don't think a lot of people like beef ramen. I'm not a humongous fan myself. But it was funny, the moment I couldn't have ramen, there was nothing I wanted more than ramen. So anyway, so you can't get the shrimp cup of noodle ramen. For
Mhm.
those who are trying to keep up with this lightning fast Vin Diesel movie level action that we're talking about right here. Um, so you couldn't get the cup of noodle ramen in shrimp, which is your preferred ramen.
Yeah, yeah. So I couldn't get that. So there's the something tradition brand that's kosher, and I get them every once in a while. They cost more, but they're
Of
not.
course they do. Uh, sorry.
But they're still relatively inexpensive as food goes. and I buy one just every once in a while. Like usually, like sometimes when I work on like Tuesdays, I go home early and I have lunch and I work from home. So I'll buy them and then come home and do some work. So I don't have to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the kind that is low sodium imitation chicken, which is my preferred one because it's low sodium. So it has like 200 milligrams less of sodium than the other one, so it's not that much.
So it's like
difference.
1,000 instead of 1,200 milligrams.
No,
of
it's
sodium.
like it's actually like 700 instead.
Yeah, that
of
actually
like
sounds right. It's because it's
900.
roughly 1,000 milligrams in a normal ramen,
Mhm.
which is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought last year. I started eating healthy ramen sometimes.
Mhm.
And the thing that frustrated me the most was that they advertised on the packaging, no MSG. Like, we don't use MSG. And I was like, if you fucking used MSG, the salt could be lower because it was still like 600 milligrams of
Mhm.
salt. And I was
Yeah.
trying to get no salt or low salt.
Mhm.
And I was like, if you fucking used MSG, the salt content would be lower. And fucking, I don't know if this show is ready for my opinions about MSG. Let me just put it this way. If you have ever said like, oh, don't eat that, it has MSG in it, then you participated in a racism. You have done a racism. And if anybody wants, sorry.
No, you can.
I was just saying, if anybody wants me to expand on that, they can ask at the email address.
Yeah. Or you could just go on what had the show about MSG? This American Life, if you listen to NPR and look for their MSG episode. If you want to be sure that you're racist. So.
Well, that's what NPR is good for, right?
Yeah.
Am I racist? NPR, help me out. Yes. It's 12:05 a.m. and we're anyway. So you buy the Jewish noodles.
Yeah.
The Jewish weeb spaghetti.
Yeah. No, but it's like, and then it gets like bad because like it's okay. Like it kind of tastes like ramen, but they do this thing where so it's got like it's like noodles and it has like little pieces of vegetables in it, like little carrots and corn.
And you can taste the blessing from the rabbi on it.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is with that particular type of ramen, because it's not like even pretending to be authentic, they cut up the noodles so you can use a spoon instead of a fork, which is probably the most annoying thing about it.
Yeah,
because I like went with like a fork and I was like, okay, forget it.
Never mind.
But so this is a product I bought multiple times before. So I get home, I make the ramen, and I was like really hungry, so like I ate a piece of it before I put the water in, and I was like, wow, this is really bland. I put the water in, I go down, I wait 3 minutes, even though it doesn't tell me what to do on the container for some reason. and then I start eating it, and I noticed that it doesn't taste like anything, like at all. And I'm like, oh my God, do I have COVID? But everything else tastes like something. So I was just like, I don't know. So it like they just left out the flavoring totally. And so it tasted like if you just drank, like if you just made noodles for yourself and then drank that water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. And I didn't put any flavoring in it because I thought, what if it still has 700 milligrams of sodium? so it just had really gross starchy water and noodles and some vegetables, which did taste like something because they were vegetables.
That's good. So but this happened more than once. You've bought it because we thought it was a fluke the first time. I was like, oh yeah, things happen.
Yeah, so no, but the second time, so I waited a couple of weeks, and I think I don't remember if it was at the same Acme or if it was a different one, but I was like, it's probably fine. It was probably just this one. So I went and I got another one, and this one, I opened it and I knew immediately there was something wrong because there wasn't even any vegetables in it. It was just noodles and no flavor. So it was just water, starchy water with flavorless noodles.
I don't know what's sadder, that you had to eat that for lunch or that happened to clearly like tons of this product. But the clientele for this product is so like sad and boring that this is fine. Like,
well, I put like miso in it, and so I made it ramen basically.
Yeah.
But it was sad. So I'm afraid. I'm sorry, I just saw my neighbor walk to my other neighbor's house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
They're
I don't
plotting
know why.
against you.
Maybe because she asked me to go out to a thing with her, so maybe she's gonna ask my other neighbor too. Um,
What thing? You're in Philly. Philly's locked down. Well, you're near Philly. It's locked
we're not,
down.
we're not locked down. What are you talking about? um, just to the cemetery tree farm. So
I remember the cemetery tree farm. You've mentioned it before. It's weird.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, so it was sad. Yeah.
So because of all of this
Oh,
and sharing this concern with Michelle and talking to her about, how awful her life has become without her shrimp ramen, I took it upon myself to find a place that was shipping tons of cup. I think it was a 12 cup or was it a 24 cup? It was a lot of
there's a
ramen.
lot of them in that box.
Yeah, so I pay a bit more than you would at the store to have it shipped to you, shrimp ramen. They took forever to ship it. That was the worst part. They did that thing where it was like, here's your UPS tracking number. And then every day when I clicked on it, it was like awaiting arrival for arrival scan. And I'm like, so they
Yeah.
just put a label on it and made it sit for 7 days.
I hate people like that. Just don't put a label on it if you're gonna not bring it in.
Well, just like within a day, it should be gone if you're
Mm-hmm.
going to do that. But so it finally gets shipped, and it actually shipped the day before Thanksgiving. It like finally shipped. It was coming from Massachusetts. So I was thrilled when I saw that they updated and said it was going to be delivered Saturday. So I called you on the phone. I was so excited because it had been delivered. You hadn't gotten it yet. And then you opened it up and it was fucking chicken.
Yeah.
So I've emailed them and been like, dear you sons of bitches. No, but I wrote them. I was like, you sent me the wrong thing. How are we going to deal with this? Like, are you going to send me the right thing or am I going to have to return? Like, what are we going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So they better not fuck around or they're going to find out. That's all I got to say.
But you tried.
My point
So it's the
and
thought that
failed
counts.
because trying is the first step in fail.
Yeah. I know.
I just felt so bad. I was so excited for you to have that win. I was so excited for you to get this big box of ramen you liked, and then it didn't.
I think that having the chicken ramen is a lot more of what this year feels like. So it's just better this way, but thank you.
2020 is chicken ramen to Michelle.
Well, I mean, it's chicken ramen when you don't expect it to be chicken ramen.
Okay, 2020 is unexpected chicken ramen. I'm writing that down to put in a fortune cookie.
Okay.
Unexpected chicken ramen.
He's actually writing it down, by the way, if you are.
Well, I was definitely miming it.
Yeah.
No, I wrote it down. So now that we're done with your story about the folly of me, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking forward for like over a week to you getting those.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'll
all
do
right because I
better
already
next time.
shipped more. I shipped hot and spicy shrimp, which is more available. I shipped some to you. You'll have it in a few days.
Okay.
God damn it. No friend of mine is not going to have the soup they like. Not in the winter, god damn it. I worry about you. So, but anyway, back to my shed. What's really important. So, for those who've been listening, it was like a little over 2.5 months ago.
Mhm.
I think I ordered a shed to be installed and they booked it way far out in advance. And it was actually supposed to be installed the Friday before Thanksgiving. And they even called me on that Wednesday to confirm everything. And then the next day they called me and were like, is there any way we can push it to the following Friday? Because we're like so overwhelmed and we're having lumber issues.
Oh.
So I said, yes, you can push it back to the following Friday. But it had a rocky start because, well, first of all, I do think that I don't think that normally one guy comes and installs sheds and please correct me out there if you know things about shed installers, but this was just one guy in his pickup truck with all the stuff and he just did the job and he did a good job, by the way. But we were plagued by problems. The first big problem, which is embarrassing for me to admit, is that is that I was told that he would arrive at 9 o'clock and that it would take a day. So I got up at 8, got dressed, and was ready to go out in the backyard and clean up the dog poop, to make it decent for him, a decent workspace for him. And literally, I'm like, I just am dressed. I take a sip of water, and there's a knock on my door, and it's him at 8:05 in the morning, asking me to unlock the gate so he can get in.
Right.
Well, then, I'm starting to wonder if he was kind of a jerk a little bit, because I felt terrible that the dog poop wasn't cleaned up, but I tried to explain. I was like, I was gonna, clean up, but this is earlier than I was told by like an hour. And he didn't really react to me saying that. Like, he just kind of well, then he like comes to me. He's like, do you have a pooper scooper? And he cleans the dog poop up himself. And I felt terrible. But I didn't know what else to do, so I just let him. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to tip this guy. Like, I'm going to give him a little something extra for all his trouble, as long as he doesn't do a terrible job, which I don't think he will. I don't think they'd send a guy who'd do a terrible job all by himself to do it.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, like, this isn't like some small thing. This is like a company that was contracted by Lowe's. So it's not like this is some, it's not like I called up Dave's Shed and nomenclature, Dave's Shed and Shelter or whatever. So he pooper scoops the yard. He also put all the poop in like one spot, like right by the porch, where I was like, oh, cool. But I mean, you know what? I'm not mad. It's not his job to clean up dog poop. It's very nice of him that he just did that. But you and I were going to record the show that day. And I was like, if there's a little like hammering, a little nails or whatever, that probably won't be a big deal. But what I wasn't ready for was his boombox just blaring classic rock. And I'm not mad about that at all. I have done, day labor and stuff like that. And like, if I was stuck in that backyard working by myself for 8 hours straight, I would really need music, something to make it more, less awful for me. So, he just didn't use headphones or whatever, which is what I would have done. But he had a boombox. It's fine. So I wasn't mad at all. I just kind of laughed and I was like, yeah, he needs his music. Like, I would never be somebody who would go out there and be like, yeah, turn that down. Fuck no. He's like working all day long for me. So
yeah, I mean, you could have run outside while he wasn't looking and like just turned it down slightly and then run back inside so you'd never know.
See, where were you when I needed you?
I didn't think about it until just now. I'm sorry.
But so no big deal. We're like, okay, well, we'll record on Saturday. So I try to stay out of his way because, to be honest, I was embarrassed by the dog poop thing. So I was like, I'm just going to stay out of his way, let him do his job. And then when he's done, I'm going to give him a $20 tip and say, thank you so much for doing such a great job. That was my plan. And I mean, I don't want to be a jerk, but like, I paid like $1,100 for the installation. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so whatever. Like, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I paid $1,100 for the installation and the painting and everything. So, at about 4:00, I need to go run an errand. I have to. And I wanted to stay around in case he needed a bathroom or he ran out of water. I just want to be a good host. Even though I'm not technically hosting him, I guess, because he's I'm not like that. I can't be like that. I want to be helpful. So I go out there at 4 and I let him know, like, hey, I'm going to be gone for about a half an hour. Do you need to use the bathroom or anything before I go? And he says, oh no, I'm wrapping up right now, but it's not done. He's like, I'm wrapping up right now. And I'm like, oh, and then he's like, I'll be here tomorrow, 8 a.m. to paint it. And I'm like, okay, well, no one ever told me in the 2 different phone consultations I had that it might be a 2-day job. So, I mean, and again, like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. But no one had told me until that moment. So I leave. When I get back, the guy's gone. I go out and check the shed, which is almost entirely assembled, just unpainted. And he did a good job. I mean, like, I looked at it, like, there's no major like sloppy spots. And any spots that don't look pristine are like the interior, like, the what do you call it? Like the framing. It doesn't matter. Like the wood just doesn't look perfectly uniform, but it's installed perfectly uniform. It's just the
Okay.
material. So but it's no big deal because the interior is entirely utilitarian on a shed like that.
Right.
The inside's
Right.
nothing but boards and stuff like that. The outside looked great. The roof
Great.
looked really good. So now I'm stuck in the situation where, thanks to Thanksgiving and being exhausted from Thanksgiving, because I pulled a muscle in my back on Monday, of course. So then, like, I'm still like, I should just, I'll go into Thanksgiving in a minute, but I want, but so, but I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep, and because Thanksgiving was a little bit on the stressful side. Not too bad though. It was actually a really good Thanksgiving, all things considered. But so he shows up at 8. I make sure the gate's unlocked. I make sure that my dogs have went outside and done their business before he's there, because he's in their domain all day long. They don't have anywhere to go pee. I have to walk them in the front yard. Well, I don't have to walk Hen Wolf. Hen Wolf will run straight up to the grass, pee, and run right back in. She's a very good dog. But Chicano will be like, "What adventures can I get into this time?" And then I have to be like, "Get back in here," and be like, "You dick." But no, so I was texting you throughout the day, just like giving you updates, because I'm like, I have no idea what this guy's doing. And my mom's like, just ask him. And I'm like, I'm embarrassed of my own existence at this point. And my mom didn't get that, I don't think. But so yeah, then I was like, I have my $20 bill in my pocket. I'm ready to, for when he tells me he's all done, to hand him the $20 bill and be like, hey, thank you so much. And I noticed that he was painting first thing in the morning, and he was hand painting. I assumed they were going to use a sprayer, but he was hand painting it, and it does look good. It looks really good. The trim is pretty darn good for hand done,
Good.
So, and it's a orange shed, which is cool. And it's still wet because I have paint on my hand from checking it out. But so all of a sudden I see that he's packing up, and I remember I messaged you. I was like, he's packing up. Like, he's packing up.
Right.
And so I'm like waiting, and I'm like, okay, I'll wait for the knock. And I just hear the truck start up, and he just left. Like, you didn't even, your shed's done nothing, just left.
Yeah.
Which makes me think maybe he was a little bit of a jerk.
Maybe
Or it
he
could be
thought
COVID. It could be I'm sorry, what were you going to say though?
Oh, I was gonna say maybe he thought you didn't like him because you didn't ask him how long he was gonna be, and you I don't know.
Well, with how early he worked, it felt like I worked nights, because I ended up just like going to sleep on the couch after waking up at like 7:30 in the morning and stuff. Like, I don't usually wake up quite that early. And to be frank, I really need to catch up on all the sleep I lost around Thanksgiving. So I have my shed. When we're done recording, I'm going to go out and buy a padlock for it. And I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow because my back is still a little tender. And then but tomorrow I'm going to put my lawnmower out there and all my yard implements and start planning what storage things I want to put in there. Cause it has a loft. So
Yeah.
About a third of the storage space is doubled by the loft. So I want to put just things that are in, sealed plastic containers. I want to put stuff that I never need, but I don't want to throw away up there, just so it's safe, but it's out of the way. Well, you're making a face. What's that face about?
No.
Why are you judging my shed
That all
life?
sounds good. That all sounds good. No.
I mean, the offers, if you want to live on that loft, you can. I don't have to put that stuff up there.
It's okay. If you want to put the stuff up there, it's fine. I can always sleep on the stuff too.
Or between them, make a little Michelle-sized space.
Yeah.
Which really isn't much, to be, honest. You don't take up a lot of room,
I guess.
But yeah, so I have my shed. I'm happy about that. So tell me, I mean, I feel like we should probably obviously talk about Thanksgiving, because it was like 2 days ago.
Was it? That was 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Wow.
So I know to me it feels like Sunday.
Not really to me because I work tomorrow, Sunday. So
yeah, but you have a job that makes you remember the days vaguely.
Yeah, but I don't normally remember the days.
But do you want to talk about your Thanksgiving, how it went, what you guys did?
Do you want me to?
I mean, yes.
Oh.
We're doing a show, Michelle.
Okay. I don't know. So we just did a thing where my mom really likes Thanksgiving dinner because she really likes turkey.
Yeah.
I'll stop rocking back and forth now.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah. So she really likes turkey, so she wanted to make. She was like, "I'm not gonna have Thanksgiving dinner." And my family, we're all pretty much on the same page with holidays. Nobody wants to see anybody and possibly get each other sick, so we're all just not.
But this was your guys' attitude in 2017, right? Just kidding.
It most definitely was not. But so she was like, I'm still gonna do it, and I'm just gonna make all the food, and I'm just gonna bring it to you guys. And I was like, okay, sure. So she was really excited. So she spent like a day and a half cooking, and like made a bunch of things that like we could actually finish like cooking in our ovens, my sister and my ovens. That is.
Well, and
So
you live the furthest, right?
yeah. So she came over like in the early afternoon, and my brother went to my sister's house to drop off food too, and we just got a lot of food, and then I put the food in the oven, and it was fine, and then we like hung out on Zoom and ate dinner together, uh yeah.
That's
And
really
then
nice.
it was fine. It went totally fine. It sounds like the rest of my family, my extended family, got together and didn't tell us. But that's okay because I wouldn't have gone because it's not appropriate this year. But they didn't tell me. But then later, the other side, my mom's side of the family, jumped on Zoom with us, and we did like that like Jackbox TV stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for a couple of hours in the later part of the evening.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it was okay.
I'm glad. I'm really glad.
And lots of people had cats, so I could see them on Zoom. And
That's
and
good.
yeah.
You were so happy about the cats.
Yeah, and Gigs was on Zoom a little, so but mostly just her butt. So
yeah, I mean, cat. You said cat.
Yeah.
Cats are gonna do. Cats are mostly butt.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you have an all right time?
Yeah. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I have ideas, but they're like really bad ideas, so we're gonna see.
Well, because weren't you thinking about like being on your porch or something?
Yeah, and I was like
at the start, at the like 3 days into winter.
Yeah, and we're gonna buy like one of those little trees that you plant afterwards with the ball, and I'm gonna decorate it and I put it on my porch, and we're all just gonna sit outside and be really cold, and maybe I'll give everyone something hot to drink if I feel like it.
Maybe.
And then they'll go home. So.
I mean, that doesn't sound terrible if you could guarantee the weather was going to be fair.
Yeah. I cannot.
No.
What about your Thanksgiving?
Well, before I talk about my very sad and lonely Thanksgiving compared to yours, I no, I had a pretty good one, but I want to ask because I feel like I should know this about you. What do you like eating at Thanksgiving?
Oh, I don't really like Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, particularly, like we normally make like rice pilaf, so I kind of like that.
Oh, la di da.
And it's like the least fancy thing in the world. And then I make like a broccoli casserole, that I like. And then there's also like stuffing, which is fine, and sweet potatoes, which is fine. I'm just not a huge fan. But my mom also made me a fake sausage, and then with lots of onions and peppers, and that was good.
That's nice.
Yeah,
because you love, like, you're not a meat person anyway. I mean, it's not just that you don't eat meat for moral reasons, although you do. It's also that you don't like meat very much anyway. I mean, so it's pretty easy to not want it.
Yeah, I really don't like turkey. I mean, honestly, like, I like it. Now, I don't like it at all, but I prefer it when it was kind of like drier than when it was like real juicy. It's just gross. I don't like it.
I like turkey like a roast turkey once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because by the time I'm done eating the leftovers, I'm pretty done with it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
and
way I feel.
I hate leftover turkey so much. It has that weird flavor, that weird my turkey's been dead for too long now flavor. Um, so so
Well,
I don't like it.
well, now I've converted to being a dark meat person, so it's not
Mhm.
as bad.
That's
Uh,
good.
but but so before we talk about my Thanksgiving, because I'm shining us away from it. No, I'm just kidding. I want to like set up this idea that it's super sad, but it's not. It wasn't. But so what do you like to eat at Christmas then? Like, is it the same thing? You
It's
don't like Christmas food either?
Yeah, well, it Christmas has been weird, like, because last year, like, I made Christmas dinner for
Oh yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I made like udon. So
Weeb.
so I liked Christmas dinner. But normally, like, when we've gotten together, either with my immediate family or my extended family, we'll have something that's like what we have on Thanksgiving dinner. Um, so
See, in my family, we generally have a ham on Thanksgiving.
that's what my mom was telling me. She was like, "But people have ham on Christmas, but I don't like ham.
I know you don't.
But I
oh,
really don't like ham."
oh, what I was mentioning, I totally lost my point earlier when I was talking about you not liking meat very much. I did want to
Hmm.
mention, but your favorite kind of meat is sausage.
Oh, that's what we were doing. Yeah, I like
I was mentioning.
sausages, and I like meat that isn't like good meat. So I
Yeah, you
like
like very
ground.
processed meat.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it
those
makes
are
sense though
good.
because it's not like regular meat,
Hmm.
So, so yeah, I remember you telling me at one point you're like, I really like hot dogs, and I was like, that's such a weird.
Oh, I don't really like hot dogs. They're okay.
Well, they're okay is like praise to meat for you.
I mean, I think that like beef is okay too. It's much better than like chicken or pork or something.
Pork's really good, man.
No, it's not. I mean, maybe some cuts like maybe like bacon, maybe.
Bacon's
But
all right. Bacon's all salt is the problem.
yeah, but like pork, like a pork chop, no, no.
It's all right. Yeah. So, all right, I'll talk about my Thanksgiving,
Okay.
but only because you made me. No. So obviously, I couldn't. Unfortunately, I couldn't be with my mom. That's kind of why I've been making jokes about it being so sad because I'm dealing with I miss my mom a lot, and she
Yeah.
doesn't live far away. I see her, you know, to drop things off to her outside and stuff, but I don't get to spend any quality time with her. And
Yeah.
it's really hard because I'm very close with my mom. I used to have lunch with her at least once a week. She's my best friend, so it's hard. And I'm also like the holiday person in my family. I'm the one who's like, come on, guys, let's get together on Thanksgiving. Come on, guys, let's get together on Christmas. Because my mom will kind of act disinterested, although this has proven she's not that disinterested because she was very obsessive about having kind of a Thanksgiving of sorts. So my mother insisted on buying me a pre-made Thanksgiving dinner from Kroger's, the grocery store,
Mhm.
and said like invite people. It was like enough food to feed 6 people. So she was like invite anybody who doesn't have somewhere to go or whatever. So I ended up having 4 friends over for dinner. Like and nobody was like a lost puppy. It was just like people who either couldn't go somewhere because of COVID risk, or they do their Thanksgiving on Wednesday, so it was like, well, then come over and have dinner with us on Thursday.
Mhm.
I so and the meal was pretty good. The turkey was the best part. I was very surprised. It was like a pre-cooked turkey, but then you have to put it in the oven for 3 more hours. And when it
That's a
came
long
out,
time.
it was so tender and juicy and good.
Good.
And I was very surprised. And I had to carve my own turkey for the first time, which went great. I expected it to be very difficult, and it was not even vaguely difficult. It made me want to go buy another turkey so I could cook it and carve it because I was like, that was so much fun. It was just not hard. It's like you separate the leg, then you separate the other leg, then you separate the breast. It's really not complicated at all.
Mhm.
So, and I bought an electric carving knife and wrote "Old Painless" on it, which made me really happy. But So that's the broad strokes. But what actually happened on Thanksgiving Day is I got up. Okay, so I have a thing every Thanksgiving and every Christmas morning. I have cereal. Like when I was a kid, and I don't eat cereal the rest of the year. I only eat cereal on Christmas morning and Thanksgiving morning.
Okay.
Because in general, I'm not really that, again, like there are lots of foods that I like, but I don't like them enough for them to be in like a rotation of my diet.
Yeah.
Like I really like cereal a few times.
Yeah.
I really like turkey a few times.
Mm-hmm.
But roast turkey is not a hamburger. I could eat a hamburger, every other day. I like them a lot. So, but so I got up really early and Rachel was actually cleaning the house up a bit to get ready for people because we had like the whole day, and I felt bad. I'm not a good housekeeper, so Rachel took the lead. So what I did to try to contribute was I ordered us a really nice lunch from a Turkish place.
Cool.
Because much to my shock, they were open, so I ordered it. She'd never had it, so we ate our really nice lunch, and she got back to it. Well, because my back was hurt, I was even less useful than normal. So now it wasn't that bad, but it was really bad on Monday. So,
yeah.
But on Thursday it was mostly better. But I would like bend down to do something, be like, "Yep, that motion is not a good one." So I ended up getting put on box duty. I have all these boxes from all the shipments that come between personal life and work. Cardboard takes over the house really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sat at the couch with a knife and I told Rachel, I was like, just throw me any boxes and I'll cut them open and flatten them and then I'll take them out to the trash.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right. So we were like doing teamwork, and as I'm one of the things we had to do was collapse the dog cages and put them away because they take up like the entire kitchen or the entire dining room. So we put the cages down and I'm walking around and I hit my toe into the cage and I'm like, ow. Okay. And I walk away and I put my new Santa Claus slippers on and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to bump my toe anymore. So then I'm cutting boxes and my toe keeps aching and I keep like moving my foot around and going like, whatever. And finally I'm like, man, my toe really aches. So I pull it out of my slipper and it's just covered in blood.
Oh God.
I had been bleeding directly into my like literally 3-day-old slippers. Like I just bought them. And the best part was Rachel ran into the room because she heard me go, ah! That was the sound I made when I saw that my toe was so bloody. Ah! So she runs and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm bleeding a lot. And I've actually had a lot of cuts in my life. I'm pretty good at kind of gauging them, how bad they are. And this was a really tiny cut. So I cleaned it and I put super glue on it, which I learned in professional wrestling school. And it does generally work, except that this cut was deep, apparently. So it just bled right through the glue, which I had never seen before. Because I didn't assess the cut right. If I had assessed the cut properly, I would have applied pressure for like 5 or 6 minutes and then glued it to get the bleeding to stop. Yeah. But I just looked at it and saw, a little cut. I'll glue it shut. And no. So so now I'm waiting for this to like stop bleeding and I get it to stop bleeding and then I glue it shut and I put a Band-Aid on. And then I'm like loafing around the house trying to help Rachel and she's getting madder and madder because she's looking at my foot and she's like, your toe is getting red. Like it was just getting agitated. It was getting angry, the hurt toe. And it's like aching and stuff. So finally she's like, why don't you just lay down on the couch and put your foot up? And I'm like, but people are going to be here in like 20 minutes and I want to help. And she's like, you'll help me by going away and resting. So when the first guest came over, I was literally laying on the couch with one leg on Chicano and one leg on on a pillow. I mean, she was right. But yes, that was funny. My toe just hurting and aching all day and all the blood.
Oh God.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. Oh, but the part I almost forgot to mention, Rachel sprung into action. She was like, do I need to take care of your toe? And I was like, honestly, I am definitely qualified to take care of my bleeding toe. But I was like, could you take my slipper and try to get this blood out? Cause like it's brand new. And there was literally, it looked like it was a bandage. Like there was so much blood absorbed in it. So
wait, what color is your slipper?
Oh, you're going to say, what color is your blood? And I was going to be like, Michelle, what answers are you expecting? No, white.
Oh man.
The inside of them was white cotton. So
Oh,
it,
okay, I kind of
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
So it literally looked like a
Ooh.
bandage that you take off
Yeah.
the, but
Yeah.
luckily we caught it so early, a little warm water and OxyClean, and it was complete. It's completely looks fine now.
Good. Good.
Um, so yeah, that was that was the negative part of Thanksgiving. Oh, and they almost thought they lost our turkey at the grocery store, but that turned out fine. The guy was so nice, because when they thought they'd lost my order, he like looked me dead in the eye and he was like, we've had some cancellations today. You ain't leaving here without a turkey. And that was such a
Aww.
nice thing to say on Thanksgiving morning,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the food was cooking. It all turned out really nice. Some of the sides were better than others. We had a nice meal. We had a lot of laughs. And then at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, my buddy Dave came by and we watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Dutch, which are my two favorite Thanksgiving movies of all time. Had a bunch of laughs, had a couple cries, because Planes, Trains, and Automobiles makes me sob like a little dumb baby. And it was nice. It was actually really nice. I mean, I would have preferred, my normal Thanksgiving would be go be with my mom until like 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then do what I did, hang out with people and eat leftovers at dinner time and then watch movies.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I will, as hard as that has been, and as hard as I know Christmas is going to be not with my mother, it really was the best possible, not a lot of people around Thanksgiving. It really was.
Good.
And I'm very thankful. So now is the part where, Michelle, you have to say what you're thankful for.
No. No.
Yeah, it's too late.
No,
You already agreed to.
No. I wasn't paying attention when I signed that paper. I don't know what you're talking about.
You have to be thankful for something.
No.
No?
I don't want to.
Okay, so we'll let the record show Michelle is thankful for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah. Yep.
That's some cold-blooded shit.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for tricking me, so.
Well, I'm going to say what I'm thankful for.
Okay.
Because I'm in a weird spot. I'm exhausted right now. But I've been reminiscing about good things, but also talking about hard things. So I'm in like a really interesting kind of loosey-goosey emotional place right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm thankful for my job, which has somehow kept me going through 8 months of COVID, or 9 months of COVID, or however long it's been.
I don't know. What month is this?
But I'm really, who cares? It doesn't matter what are months. But no, but I'm really thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
But by proxy of that, really, I'm thankful for like all the people who have been supporting my stuff, buying movies, supporting Patreon, stuff like that. Like, people don't realize that, like, when everything completely shut down, my Patreon was like the only money coming in at all.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm thankful. I'm like really thankful. So if you're on there, and this is not a guilt thing to get you to join if you're listening to this, but you should. But but it's just, I really am thankful because that really kept me going. It still keeps me going. I'm going to be paying rent next month in part with my Patreon payout that's coming for December. So thank you guys. There's going to be, well, oh yeah, you're a patron.
Yeah, not a big one, but
and yeah, and I'm just thankful people being willing to support me while I try to get things going. While I try to get things going, because we had to shut down that production. Did we talk about that on the show? I don't think we did.
No, because that was just now.
The production
much, right?
we talked about last week had to be shut down due to severe weather and COVID concerns as well. So I'm not working. I was excited to work, and now I'm not working. Not like that anyway.
My job.
But I'm thankful for this podcast because I have had fun sitting with you, Michelle, even on the days when I didn't necessarily want to do it when I first sat down because I was tired or depressed or whatever. Because unfortunately for this poor show, it existed more in COVID times than not.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, we should listen back to like the 5th episode to like how like like youthful and jubilant we were about like normal lives where like we did stuff and things happened.
We should listen to we should listen to the one like right before we brought COVID up, and then the one where like everything got real serious.
Oh
and just
God,
compare.
they were like only one apart.
No, because there was like one in the middle where we were like still like, oh, it'll probably be okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, because we had to record the thing at the beginning that said like this episode was recorded before the information had come out about this and that and the other thing. Yeah, it's been a barrel of laughs for us over here at This Show Is Awkward. So
yeah.
But and thank you to those listening to us.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There aren't a ton of you, but I am thankful for you. So yeah, and I'm thankful for both podcasts, but this one in particular, helps me kind of feel like I'm not going crazy. And I'm thankful for you because you have dealt with the brunt of my bullshit during the pandemic. So so you still not thankful for anything?
I don't know. I'm thankful for you too and the people listening too, because
you're just gonna copy my homework.
Yeah.
Typical.